Hello there, survivors, and welcome back to ARK Survival Ascended. Today we're taking a look at the brand new CKF custom cosmetic skin, so the castles, keeps, and forts cosmetic version. There was already, of course, the build mod that you have to install either on your single player or your server. But now there's also a custom cosmetic version available of it, which means we just got a huge new cosmetic for those medieval builds. Because if you don't know CKF, it's actually a really good and high quality building cosmetic with a bunch of cool skins included, different tiers, just as in the mod version. We have settler, village, and keep, and we have quite a few decoration options, utility skins, and more will come later. So, you know, there's even more to come eventually, but there's already quite a bit. So today we're just going to take a first look at the cosmetics. I've had the chance to build with them a little bit already, and we'll probably do a little bit of building today as well, and then yeah, we can see where we take it from there. But hello there, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are we all doing? So yeah, it's the cosmetic version of the mod that was already there, which is great news for everyone on official servers or on servers that don't have CKF installed, because it means that no matter where you play, almost everywhere, you'll be able to use CKF, which is really cool. I think it's currently still waiting for approval to be used on official, but that shouldn't last too long, and then yeah, you'll be able to build your medieval castles in a brand new way. So yeah, let's dive in. Let's take a look at it all. So yeah, I have been working a little bit on builds, as I said. We've got a little build right here, a little bit of a, well, is it a castle? Is it a keep? Is it a fort? It's one of the three for sure. Just been playing around a little bit with the skins. I also see that I missed the skin right there, but we'll just ignore that. So we have a nice gateway here, some walls, as you can see, some towers to the sides. You can see all the different tiers here in display as well. So we have the keep, the village, and the settler tier. And just as in the modded version, it works the same way kind of with the skins. So everyone can use the settler tier, the village tier, as well as all of the decorations and crafting stations. But if you want to use the keep tier, so the stone tier, the castle tier, you'll need to own the mod version, the premium mod version of CKF. So not the cosmetic. You don't have to buy that extra. If you already own the other one, you'll already have access to the keep tier in this version as well. So this way you don't have to buy it twice. And for official players, if you accidentally bought CKF thinking it was a premium cosmetic, then this way you have the skin version already fully unlocked. But even if you don't own CKF, the mod, you can still use the free tiers in the cosmetic. So even without buying anything, you have a pretty cool cosmetic to work with. So yeah, this is a base that I've been working on, and I tried to make like a castle or fort like base, which is still quite practical. And as you can see with these walls around here, it means we have a pretty big inner square here for your tames, and then you'll have a pretty decent sized base off here to the side. I still need to do the interiors. I haven't managed to fix the whole base or the inside of the base yet, but I think it would make for a pretty cool base for sure. And with a courtyard like this, you'll definitely have a bunch of space to use, which of course is always a good thing. But yeah, you know. And of course, we actually have, and we'll go over that in a little bit, I actually built a little house using the skins in the village that I built with the mod to make it even more confusing. And we'll see if we can figure out which one is the modded version and which ones are which one is the skin version. But yeah, of course, the modded version for unofficial players will probably always be the better version, because skins are very nice. Skins are great because you get a lot of freedom to use whatever you want, even if it's not installed on the server. But by having CKF, the mod, installed on the server, of course, you get access to a bunch of extra pieces that we can't do in vanilla ARK at all. So probably will always be, you know, be the better version. You're streaming tonight? Well, yeah, you dropped it early. I thought we were waiting for next week, and then you tell me it's released. So, and I was like, well, might as well go. Okay, now I haven't even finished my base. Now I haven't even managed to finish my base. I'm working on the Elven tutorials. I'm hoping to be able to record the first one for the big building tomorrow, maybe? Hopefully. I was planning to do it today, but then ARK was ARK. Yeah, CKF has a cosmetic version now, so it basically has all the same textures, but now a cosmetic version. So, there we go. And you can build everywhere with CKF. So yeah, this is the castle that I built using the skins. It's not quite finished yet. Well, I don't know if it's a castle, maybe more of a fort. But, yeah, using the skins. Looks quite nice. Definitely some really nice textures on it, especially stuff like this, you know, the clock, the windows, etc. are all quite nice. I haven't completely finished it, as I said, because I wasn't expecting it to launch today. But, you know, I'll finish that and we'll see that in a full video at some point. But, you know, there we go. How it works with CC from Aaron. The textures are slightly different, but the good thing about CC is that it has statues and everything, which will always be very useful to, you know, to have as decoration options. You know, some statues around, especially for like bigger builds and castles, etc. And some utilities, I assume, because there's a few utilities already in here, but definitely not all of them. All right. We're gonna load in a whole town, so bear with ARK. There we go. Let's just see the whole town. It's been a while since we've been here. People have been asking when I'm gonna continue it. Well, today we're gonna definitely do a little bit of building here. If it can register that we're here, we just need to wait for it all to load in. It's not like we build a lot, guys. It's definitely not that at all. So the cosmetic is totally free, but just as the modded version of CKF, to unlock the keep tier, and this is where you have to pay attention, to unlock the keep tier in the cosmetic, as well as in the modded version, you need to buy the mod. So the cosmetic is completely free, but if you buy the mod, you'll also unlock the keep tier in the cosmetic, if I understand it correctly. So the cosmetic itself, you can't buy. You don't need to buy. But if you want the keep tier, you'll need to buy the modded version, which is great for people that already own the mod, because it means you already have both right away. And if you accidentally bought the mod thinking it was a cosmetic, you know, it's even nicer, because now you do have the skins available to use wherever you are. So that's quite nice. So yeah, it works the same way as the modded version, but now you can use it wherever, even if the mod isn't installed. But the mod will also always have more options, of course, because if it's a server-side mod, you can have the new steeper pieces, etc. You can have all the additional things we can't have in normal ARK. But yeah, pretty nice. So yeah, this is the CKF village, of course. Well, this is pretty much all done with the modded version. But there's been a new addition somewhere that is, in fact, not the mod at all, and it's the skins. So I wonder If you can see it, we got the castle back there. We got the chapel here. We do have a few of the castle craft statues in here to match. But yeah. See if you can spot it. See if we can spot it. There's actually some cool Easter eggs in this village, you know, like this shop has no interior, but it has a chicken on the ground, which is quite nice. There's actually a shark here, which is the time-lapse camera. How much is the premium mod? So the mod upgrade, I'm not actually sure. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I got CKF. But yeah, it's fun to be back here though. CKF is definitely a really good one if you like to build medieval things and you want to capture those yeah, those realistic kind of vibes. The textures of this are very nice in general. So yeah, we have some more buildings over here. And then we have the farmhouse out here. And we have a little apiary back there too. So yeah, a brand new addition to the town using the skins is right over here. It's right over here. So you can see it blends in very nicely with the actual modded pieces, because I mean it's exactly the same thing, but just skin versions of things. Actually, it kind of does have, currently at least, it does have more or different pieces than the modded version has, because of course some of the pieces that we have in vanilla ARK we didn't have in CKF yet, like quarter ramps being skinnable, which is quite nice. Which means we have a few more options there. But yeah, you can see with these skins we can do a bunch of things. You can have these arches, which is great for your supports. You have the nice stone textures, we have the village textures, the settler tier, we have the cool windows and all the different shapes. You got the nice roof textures, so you can definitely do some really nice building with it. Now, I haven't actually looked into all of the utilities, but why don't we start with that before we start building? Let's look into the utilities. Oh, and I totally forgot, we can do windmills. So you can have a windmill, which is basically, it attaches to a wall, and then you have a spinning windmill. The same is for water wheels. So you can have spinning water wheels and spinning windmills, which is really cool if you want to do some you know, creative builds. This is going to be really nice. Thank you. I'm glad you like the tutorials. So yeah, some really nice skins in here. And let's see. So this is just a table, the bench and the chair. More will be added over time. And this is, well, we're going to have to remember all these. We're going to have to remember the list that is here and try all of these. But yeah, I think we'll do that first. So let's do the table, etc. first. Let's see. Table. We'll need normal table. Where's my normal table? I have too many mods. Table, chair, and a bench. That's what we want to start with. And we can see what they look like. So yeah, we'll have, why not? We'll have a table over here. This feels like a good spot for a table. Why not? And then we can have a bench on one side or two sides maybe, and a chair at the end. Why not? There we go. some benches, and then we'll have a chair over here. So yeah, we should be able to skin all these into different versions. And now comes the best thing of this cosmetic, because you all probably know how cosmetics work, and you have to apply them, then you have to go close to them, change the variant, you know, takes a lot of time. This one, you can change the variant before placing it. So you can see this is the default bench, but I can go for this one by pressing T, and I can go through all the different options before placing it down, and then I can apply it and it will instantly look like the one that I want it to. So this is gonna save you a bunch of time skinning your things, because you can choose what it will look like before you place down the skin, which is, I mean, this should be the way it works, I think, but for some reason it's just not the way it works, which is quite silly. But yeah, so that's probably the best thing of this cosmetic. Well, there's a lot of good things about the cosmetic, but this is definitely gonna save you a lot of time changing variants, especially on official, where you can't have like any additional tools to change skins. This is gonna be quite nice. What graphics card do I have? I've got a 5090, so yeah, but you shouldn't have to upgrade that much to get decent graphics at ARK. So yeah, that's the current decor on this furniture skin. As it says, more will be added over time. So let's see. We need a smithy, fabricator, cam bench, and industrial grinder. Let's start with that, because otherwise I'm not gonna remember all. So we need a smithy. We'll have that here. I think it's at a fabricator. We'll put that over here. And it's this is the CKF Cosmetic. Okay. Cam bench, I think I also said that. And then did I say grinder? I think I said grinder, right? Let's see. That's quite big, but we'll place it down there. All right, there we go. We can see some more skins. And yeah, this also has 3 versions for the smithy, which is quite cool, because of course usually there's just kind of one version. But yeah, you can see you can go for different vibes depending on what kind of aesthetic you're going for. We have a cool fabricator, and I think as soon as it's powered it will start moving. At least that's what it does in the normal mod version, and I'm guessing it's going to be the same for this one. As soon as it's going to be powered, it's going to be animated. So let me actually quickly add some power, because for some reason I don't think, no, there's no power here. Let me just add my power sword out of the back until I fix a more permanent power sword. There we go. Don't have to see that. But yeah, now we can power it, and it will have these cool animations as well. So that is pretty nice. Then we also have a grinder skin. Look at that. That's quite cool. And again, moving pieces. So this is going to be very, very nice to yeah, to animate your bases even more, right? Like, I think having a bit of movement is going to be really, really nice. So yeah, let's see, what other things do we have? Small and large storage boxes, feeding trough, toilet. Let's start with those. Small and big storage. I can remember that. Large storage. we'll probably place that here because I'm just trying to keep room for any future additions, I suppose. The small storage box I probably also have. We can probably add that maybe out here. There's a little bit of decorating. A feeding trough. We also should be able to add out here somewhere as a little means of detailing. Why not? And a toilet. He's very proud of his toilet, so I assume we're gonna see some greatness here. We don't really have a separate room, so you're gonna just have to go to the toilet right over there. All right, let's check all of these out. Yeah, I think all of the things that we have here, there is, like, the mod also has these, but they might look slightly different because now they have to fit the size of the items. And otherwise it will get an update very soon, hopefully, you know. So this is the storage. We have some versions here, which is quite nice. I like this one a lot. That adds a bunch of life, but I like that there's different options. So if you have a big storage room, you're definitely going to be able to decorate it very well with those. Then we have this small one, which also has a bunch of options available so that you can go for whatever vibe fits your build the best. I like that a lot. And there we go. Then we have some different feeding troughs as well. Oh, I like the idea of this. I like that a lot. There's two versions. There's a mod version and there's a cosmetic version. This is the new cosmetic version. But yeah, both exist. So it depends on what you prefer to play with, I suppose. Hello there, Mimic. Welcome in, man. How are you doing? We need more toilet skins, lol. Yeah, so let's actually take a look at the toilet because he's been hyping about this and I actually have not looked at it on purpose until this very stream. Now, this... I hope you're not eating any food right now because this might be gross from his descriptions. It seems to be just a bucket. But we're gonna have to look into the bucket. So if you're eating anything, maybe look away. Oh, it's not that bad. Actually, there's a bit of I think it's a bit of leaves. Maybe we should do this outside. We'll go somewhere here in the sun. Yeah, again, hopefully you're not eating during this. It's not wasn't my idea. I can tell you that. Didn't tell him to add this. That's for sure. Oh, it's a bit shady still because there's some dark shades on the trails. But that should be... I don't think we want to get a closer look than that, to be honest. Be grateful it's dark. Yeah, Astraeus has some harsh shadows, but I think that will be changing very, very soon. The cosmetic is your client side, and the mod is on the server. So depending on what options you have, you can do both. You have both options available. All right, so we have up to toilet. So we have water tank, dedicated storage, beer barrel, and storage barrel. So barrels, I think I might have some. So let's add those in right somewhere here. So we can have a beer barrel. We can have a normal barrel. We should have a water tank. And I'm pretty sure that I know what this is going to change into. But who knows? What else? What else? Water tank, dedicated storage. Dedicated storage. Let's go. So yeah, we'll add a bit of dedicated storage right over here, my little simple house. Okay, so we have more dedicated storage. We can apply that to these and they'll turn into some nice crates. Looks a bit more medieval. Makes it all blend in. And then, yes, we have wells. And we have quite a few options. So no matter what you're looking for, you'll probably find something quite nice that we can apply. And then the barrels. I almost forgot what else I placed, but we have the barrels. Yeah, we have this one for the beer barrel, and then we have this one. So yeah, you can just kind of change the look so it matches the rest of the vibes, basically. You know, it's all the same kind of aesthetic. And I think that's all the utilities at the moment. But yeah, hopefully over time we'll have even more additions to it. But this is already a pretty decent start, especially since most utilities even have multiple options, like a plant pot. Does it say plant pot? It doesn't say plant pot. There we go. Oh, why is it red? Well, we have a nicer plant pot. Well, look at that. We also have a plant pot, so you can change those two. Yeah, I'm using Fairy's Pathways for my paths. So, you know, can get some nice pathways going. But yeah, that is the cosmetic version. For the build structure pieces, it's mostly what you can expect from CKF, but then applied to vanilla pieces, so it's skinnable. So yeah, you have the pillars and the beams. We have all the nice roof textures, the village tier with a bunch of these in different patterns, of course, so you can go crazy with those patterns. And yeah, you can do some pretty nice builds with them in general. So yeah, not too bad, I think. And then I was thinking of doing a little build out here. I think I'm gonna do it out in the farm side. Well, not the farm side, just outside the main town, basically. Just to see if we can make a nice little building here. At some point, I will continue with more builds in this village or town. It's not really a village anymore. All right, let's see. I'll definitely need some stone on here. I think we'll make definitely the foundations out of stone. We'll have some stairs probably. And then the next layer might very well be out of wood, of course. There we go. Let's grab a few of these and yeah, we'll just make a little build so we can use the skins, because in the end that's always going to be the kind of best way to figure something out. So I think I need to keep the landscape in mind here. It's a bit more hilly than I maybe thought. Let's see. Yeah, can't really go further back than that. Maybe I'll go with these 3. How far can I go forward until the support runs out? Oh, I can go pretty far. That's pretty good. So how long is this? 4, 6, 8. It's a pretty decent shape. And then maybe I can add like the side building over here. Something like this. I think that's pretty nice. I think this is going to be some kind of like stable area where you can have some tames in there. This will work on official once it's approved, yeah. But it's currently not approved yet, but it should hopefully be soon enough. I think we'll make this one wider. There we go. Got a tree in my way. Yeah, so at least for everyone, you know, that is unofficial or is on a server without CKF, you now have another really awesome option for your medieval themed builds. And well, as I showed at the start, I am working on a medieval build with the skins, and I guess after this one we'll have another medieval build with the skins. I think we'll probably want to go about that high realistically, you know, if we want to have any creatures in here. Something like this. Well, it could either be a workshop, I suppose, or you could have your creatures there. It's kind of whatever you prefer. I think I'm going to go for ramps on this side here, if it will let me. It's probably not going to let me, but we can force it this way. So yeah, maybe something like that could be a good start. And we'll just make a nice little medieval house out here. I think we'll have, of course, the little overhang because we can have those now. And I think what I want to do then in the middle is I want to raise it up a little bit more, just to make it a bit more interesting, to stand out a bit more. Well, of course, it's not going to give me any of the snaps that I want, but we'll figure it out. Do we keep that the same? I could make that a little bit steeper. No worries, Crimson. See ya. There's a bunch of glass. Yeah, there's a bunch of glass in here. Hello, hello. No, I think for these stables we're probably going to keep it this, because otherwise this is going to be way too high comparison to what the building is going to have to be. There we go. And again, we can have a little bit of an overhang here on the front. I'm guessing we definitely want to have that. There we go. I think we could have walls here and then maybe change them into the scaffolding options that are available. I think that could potentially be nice. And I probably also want to make sure that this is closed off. I think that would make a ton of sense. And then the back here also will be closed so that it is all safe. And then I guess that's how we feel in those parts. I'll have some slow walls. Nope, that's not a shallow one. We need the shallow ones, of course, to fit it all in. And I think then we're almost ready to start skidding it, because that's the real thing we want to see, of course. I think this is going to be quite nice if we have a few of these, just to make those entrances a little bit nicer as you pass underneath them. I kind of think something like this could be nice as well. There's some details. Hopefully. Think it could look quite nice. All right, let's get a few of the skins out here and see if we can get to building. So I'm going to use the settlers here. I'm going to use those. I'm going to use these. I don't know if I need those pieces at the moment, but this should get me a bunch closer. So I think for the windows here at the back, I think oh, we actually have a bunch of options next to the windows themselves. So that's quite nice. Which ones do I want to play around with? Maybe these. There we go, because then we have a bit of supportive beams next to them. Why is it always raining when I'm trying to build? There we go. Yeah, let's focus on this back wall first, since we're pretty far with that. So we'll do the pillars, of course, which are way thinner than you used to. And then, yeah, these are quite nice as well. We can flip them around to make them meet up with each other, which I think is going to be quite nice. And then up here, preferably, I want to get these kind of shapes in as like supportive beams for that top part. I think that would be quite nice. A little bit more open, but that way hopefully we'll get some nice light in to the build. Should be able to have these. There we go. Then the one thing that would be really helpful here is getting some beams to go across the middle. Because then it kind of looks like we have actual supports in here, right? Can I now delete this piece? Yes, awesome. But yeah, this way it kind of just looks like we got a very decent support system here. Hello there. Ooh, thick pillars on the keep set. That's pretty cool. There we go. So yeah, we can apply these on this side as well. We should be able to apply those. And then of course we can change the roof itself, which is gonna look a lot nicer with these textures. And get us a nice little stables area here. There we go. We can go all the way across with this. Yeah, I think that's coming together quite nice. And then we'll do the same for this roof over here. All the way across. So then all we need to do is the last bit, well, and the floors, of course. We need to change those. Here for the top bit, I think it does make sense to a certain extent to have a little bit more of these still going around, because that's all kind of the same layer. And then I feel like it probably would make sense to have those look like that. Although, now that I see that, probably makes more sense to have it the other way around. Because then they kind of line up with each other. Yeah, we could keep that line going. Can have maybe these as windows instead. Yeah, there we go. That looks quite nice. That's a decent little stable area or a workshop, like whatever you want to use it for, of course. I think that works pretty well. And I guess if you wanted to, we could see what it looks like if we actually continue this layer. Maybe that is quite nice, so that that doesn't just end randomly, but it actually goes somewhere. There we go. So we have a little side bit. Oh god, I hate when that happens. Why do my pillars have to go when I try to change the layout a little bit? I think what I want to do here is have a little addition to the building just to make it a little bit more interesting. Where? Oh, my foundations are still my bar. I'm blind. There we go. Do I want to do just these? Probably. Is that going to be too close? No, maybe I should do that actually on the other side of the building to get some more interest going on this side. Maybe we do like a little addition right over here. Do we make it any bigger? Maybe just a bit. So that, I don't know, we can have a little building here on the side. I guess we could continue those all the way. See if we can have the sides here too. Just the one. And then we should be able to build something pretty nice out here. So I think here for the main layer of the building, I want to use a bit more stone. There we go. Hello there, welcome in, welcome in. So yeah, this would be about the middle of the build. We can definitely use that. Do I want to have an entrance over here on this side? I probably do want to have an entrance into the stables. I feel like that does make quite a bit of sense, right? To have an entrance there, and then probably to also have an entrance into this part of the building. Do I want to have it there though? Maybe I want to have it over here. And then here in the front, I definitely think we want to have an entrance, but then probably in the middle of it, so that we can have, you know, a nice central entrance and a I'll probably get rid of this rock. Because that's a bit in the way. A bit in the way. That's fine for now. Alright, let's get to building this up a little bit. Where are my walls? Oh, they're on my hotbar. I keep forgetting that I've put it on my hotbar. There we go. I think with the skins we can probably make that look pretty nice. Let's get out some of the skins that we want. We definitely want to have some windows. We want to have the keep tier, of course. That's probably it for now. Because I do kind of think that I'll probably keep the actually I'll probably keep the pillars as being wood after all, because it just looks a little bit nicer to have the contrast, I think, for these more rural buildings. Then these windows have a bunch of variants. I think we're gonna go for this one, the smaller one, and then we definitely want the round door. Then we need to figure out if we want to maybe have some extra details here by having some extra pillars in the front, just to bring a bit more of that nice wooden texture in it. I think that's what we want. We're just building something to show the new CKF skin version. It's just going to be like a nice little medieval build. Could be a bunch of things. We have a decent workplace or stables here. Let's change all these to the right kind of stone too. That's already gonna transform the look quite a bit. Probably actually want to make sure that we have these pillars going down into the ground where they're visible. Looks a little bit nicer. All right, so for this side here, what do we want to do with this? Because we could have some windows in there. Probably not too many though. And a bunch of this is just going to be against the building anyway. There we go. Let's see. Can we have a window? And what kind of window do we want to have? Do we keep the same ones as those? I guess we could. At the very corner. I guess the other corner is then going to be over there, which would still make sense. We can change these all into the beams as well. Actually, I need to make sure that all of those continue down to the ground. I guess for a bunch of this wall, it's actually going to be fairly easy since it's facing the stables. I don't think we need to add any additional windows in there. And then I do kind of like this rounded door. That looks quite good. Cobble. Is that cobble? Not quite sure. Or is it a different? I think I like this. I don't know. I just like this texture because it feels a bit more random in my mind. Not as organized as the smaller tiles. Yeah, I guess that wall can be fairly simple. Because it's going to be more important about what else is going to go on the different layers. And then we have a whole lot of side over here as well. I kind of forgot about that. I decided to add on to it. All right, so yeah, we have some extra pillars here that are part of the stables that do complicate our design a little bit. Not quite sure if we'll keep those necessarily. It does make a lot more sense to have it there. There we go. And maybe one over here, because yeah, we definitely do want to break up these walls a little bit, because otherwise it's a lot of just stone texture all the way through. And this way at least it's a little bit more interesting. There we go. I guess now it is kind of important to know what this side bit is going to look like. I think once again, I'd probably want to go for a ramp roof, so it's not going to be too high. And it's just going to be a nice little little side building just to shape up this whole build a bit. I think we can actually go for the way smaller overhang. Maybe we should have done that on the stables too. Although, no, I think it's maybe the top part of the stables can actually use the smaller one. Because I quite like this overhang down here, but up here, maybe we should go for the smaller bits just to make it a little less top heavy. There we go. That probably will look a little bit nicer. There we are. All the quarter pieces. Yeah, I think that's probably going to make it a little bit more balanced of a look. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there's it's definitely a good way to air out the stables. And I guess what we could have on the outside here, we could also have some of these with the scaffolding pieces on it, just to make them look a little bit nicer and look like they're supported. There we go. I think that's quite nice. I might do that here on the front as well. There we go. Nope, that's the wrong one. Need to do these. There we go. I don't pick up anything. I destroy it with G. I don't pick it up, no. At least not on creative. Are you done doing Lost Colony buildings? No, but there's just a bunch of cool cosmetics releasing. I still need to finish my Gothic Citadel building, which I will. And I'm sure there'll be more in the future. But yeah, it's nice to see some sun and some skies. And I mean, we're gonna have an Astraeus update very soon as well, so we'll have a bit more variety going on until Genesis 1, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's quite nice to have a bit more variety in there. Although I must say, Lost Colony actually has really good light, but it's just not very often that you see the bright sunshine there, I feel like. It's just quite often dark, of course. And snowy and stormy. etc. So, all right, let's add that window there because I feel like might as well keep that all going, which also means we probably want to keep that going. And all these inner walls, we definitely want to probably just kind of just keep that, to be honest. As for here on the outside, that's a good question. I hadn't really thought about what this building is supposed to be, but I'm guessing it's got to be a proper building, right? Like it can't just be another stables because we already have that. The Australians updates in like 2 weeks, the 25th, I think. Actually, we might change this entrance a little bit. Like if we have the entrance there, I think that makes more sense. Otherwise, it's a bit silly. Yeah, very excited for the Australians update. It's gonna be a big one. Big new update, new lighting, new everything. And whole new desert biome. That's gonna be quite cool too. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. You also have those, like, well, not smaller doors, but the more framed ones, I suppose. I'm guessing I want to have those mostly like that. There we go. And this is why I need more hotbar, because I'm always running out of space for my skins. There we go. Do I just do windows here or do I windows there? Yeah, probably I do it a little bit higher because that way we can have things against the walls on the inside, which would be nice, and not block the window. There we go. Yeah, I'm quite excited to have a new desert biome again. It's going to be fun to do some desert theme building. It's been a while since I did any. So I've got some ideas brewing up for that for sure. But to be fair, I've got a bunch of builds that I need to be getting on with. I need to be finishing. There's so much to do. So much to keep you busy. Always something to do. So yeah, there we go. We have a little bit of a side building there, just so that we can have that side not be as flat and boring. Yeah, you have Q, but it just gets very messy because I have so much in my inventory, so I feel like, oh no, now I got rid of all of my skins. Why did you say that? No. Well, great. Great feature. I think that might be nice to have around some of these pots. No, I've already brought back my hotbar, but the skins are gone. All the skins are gone. Just the skins. Or they might just be invisible, I suppose. We'll see. I guess probably we're going to use village tier next. On top of here, that would be good. Could do an entrance like this. I quite like this as a new entrance because, you know, it just makes the stairs up to the entrance a bit more interesting than just being your regular kind of stairs. So there we go. There we go. All right, so it's definitely starting to come together here. Now, one thing we definitely want to do is have some kind of extension on the front here. Just because I really want to have some curved pieces, although it's probably going to be out of a more wooden tier. So we should be able to have... probably can just make it a balcony, to be honest. That could be quite nice. Do I want to have more? No, just the 3 probably will be sufficient. And if it's going to be a balcony, I guess that means we'll have some of those. Which ones? Ooh, we could use the ropes. That's quite nice. And then I guess I want to use the supports for this, which I think we're gonna go for these. That's quite nice. Just to add a little bit more interest. Because I guess I don't want to really extend the building to the sides because of the side buildings that I have. So the next layer is just going to be on top of this one. Straight up. Which means at least we can make this all just 2 layers higher. I don't think we're going to have a lot of windows off to the sides, just with the way we've already kind of detailed the sides. Well, we could have some windows, I suppose, in certain spots. Because otherwise it's going to be quite boring if we don't. And then I guess here we'll have some kind of nice door to a balcony. There we go. And now we have so many options for all of these walls. Do I want to use... I don't know what I want to use. The issue is there's so many options that sometimes it can be hard to decide what you want to use. Maybe I just want to keep that pattern going here for the top. And I think I actually might want to add like a little bit of a roof on top of here. I think that will just look a lot nicer, I think. Okay, I'm gonna have to use these because otherwise it won't snap. There we go. We can probably go for the village tier here, upgrade them a little bit. And do I want to extend them even further or not? Is this sufficient, or do I go out by a little bit? Did you end up adding the little eaves and stuff? I don't know if he did. But I guess we have these quarter pieces, which still kind of works. Still kind of works to make that a little bit more interesting. Let's see. We can go all the way to the top here with our pillars. I think I still go for the settler one. I really like the wood textures on the settler ones, to be honest. I think I might actually change them here too. Actually, is there a thin version of these? Ooh, there is. I might use that for these, because that's perfect. Just a little bit thinner. There we go. Yeah, railing is probably the best option. Or you could have it on one of these and just extend it so it fills up. I think some cosmetics do that. Either or. Railings is a little bit easier because then it actually keeps the same like length, I suppose. Like there's no holes. It would look less silly for people looking at it, I suppose. All right, let's see. I think we probably want to continue these pillars. I think that makes sense. I feel like this needs to be a window. It's too good not to be a window. So what we'll do instead is we'll kind of go around. No, I guess we don't go around. We just do the sides, and then we can have these in the middle, and then we want to grab a different skin so we can make a beautiful window in here. And we can have a nice tall window. There we go. That's quite nice. And that means we can also add some details in front of the window, which is instantly going to help transform this part to be a little bit less boring. Because now we have a bit of detailing there. There we go. And then for the top, I probably continue with this texture. And then I guess we'll have a little bit of a pattern going on the sides. There we go, because that's mostly covered up anyway. And I guess the roof is where this is gonna get really interesting, hopefully. But it should. It should. Speaking of the roof, let's get started on that. We should be able to go for this kind of flow over here. And then I kind of want to... I want to break this up a little bit. So let's see if we can. Like, let's say we do something like this. We're definitely... It's definitely breaking up that shape, isn't it? But can I do something like this? Can I make this work? I think I can. I guess the only downside is that this is a little bit back from where it originally started, but maybe that's part of it. I can make like a little balcony in there. Just want to break up these roofs and make them a bit more interesting. Maybe I go out by a little bit here. I guess on the inside, we can probably just use the full ceilings. There we go. But yeah, I think that could work. Would definitely make it a lot more interesting, right? If we have the roof being broken up like this. I think that would be very nice indeed. Let's see, we'll have these go all the way across. We want to have some railings around here. There we go. And then I guess we can, in fact, have some nice supports underneath this as well, which, if I'm not mistaken, should be on these pieces. We're gonna have some supports for this this little bit of the balcony that is sticking out. But yeah, that should look quite nice. Maybe we'll go for these railings. Or is there nicer versions? Actually, this is pretty nice as a railing too. Wait. Is that upside down? Or is that intentional? There we go. I found something. Let's add. Oh, I already had that. I just didn't see it. There we go. So yeah, we can have these little arches as the supports here for this balcony. Which probably is going to be like that big. All right, let's finish this little balcony thing we're working on. There we go. I think this is going to be quite cozy. Yeah. Nice little interruption here on the roof. And I think if we just bring these all the way across, bring those across, those pieces, and then once again we can go into the normal roof here. I mean, I definitely think that is adding some interest to it all. And then if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to fill in the sides quite easily. Let me see what would be the best way to do that. You know, without going crazy. I guess, well, for one thing, we'll definitely need this wall here. And then I think we need a wall there for those gaps. I guess this is going to be, that's going to be the main issue, isn't it? Because we still technically don't have a quarter piece that fits in here. So maybe what we do instead is we have our railings off to the sides here. because that kind of does fill it up with the skin. And then the interior is going to be way easier because then we can have just a normal wall. There we go. There we are. This can just be the normal version. That doesn't have the variant, so we don't need to worry about anything. And then we can skin those. So now it should all fit. And I guess there is also... CKF does have a piece for this, I guess. But yeah, both ways would work. I guess this works as well. Might as well. Yeah, oh yeah, the quad, yeah. It does. I just meant like the ARK doesn't have a piece for it. But this looks nice. We have a nice interruption in the roof. And then I think we will, of course, all still make it out of the same roof. Because otherwise it would look a little bit weird, right? If I use a different texture altogether. But it will definitely help break up that main bit, which is quite nice. And I think here at the end, we just have a few of those. Yeah, there we go. I think that works pretty damn well. Actually quite an interesting little addition to the roof, I think. Matching those two inside of one piece. Like that. I think that's quite nice. Okay, we should be able to fill in this entirely. I'm not going to worry about the interiors. That's a problem for future me or future you if you're trying to follow along with this. But for now, we'll just lay down the roof shape. See what that looks like. I guess this kind of still depends on what we're going to add there. We might still make some additions there, of course. What I do think... Oh, did you end up doing the fireplace yet? Or not? Because we could really use a fireplace. You know, just a cozy little fireplace. I mean, even if we have to keep it vanilla for now, it's fine. But we need a chimney there, I think. I think that is exactly what we need in that spot. There we go. Okay, so now we can worry about the front here. And add in those pieces. Let's see. Because it would be quite nice if I had a wall right here in the middle. Because I think then we can have that window variant perfectly in there. Oh no, we don't want more windows. I think I probably just want the empty ones around there. And then this at the top, maybe? Yeah, I think that's just gonna make it a little bit more interesting here on the front layer. We should also have this already. We can have our ramps at least around this side where we already have the roof in place. I mean, yeah, that looks. Whoop, Keep getting stuck in trees. That looks pretty nice, to be honest. With the stables, that little addition to the side. Yeah, yeah. I'm liking those vibes, especially because there's so much decorations we could add around with all the barrels, etc. Okay, so now this is Astraeus. Astraeus. The top left corner of the map. There we go. I think we'll first raise up these pillars because we definitely know they are going to be here. There we go. I think this might turn into a window like we have on that other side. We can't do that anywhere else, so it will just be in that one spot. So we'll add that in. There we go. Did I do any pattern there? I did. Awesome. Okay, fill all that in, and then of course we can add that little detail off on the sides here, in front of the window. That will definitely help a little bit, making that less flat and boring. Adding more details in there, a little bit on top of there. Just a nice little windowsill. Which I guess also means I'd probably just want to keep this as normal as it is. There we go. Now for this middle part, I'm not quite sure if I want to do the exact same thing as I did on the other side. Now what I really would like is have a window inside of the slope walls, because normally with CKF what you can do is have these quarter pieces, and even though that this piece exists with this, I guess this piece does exist, so we could technically make it. I just don't know if that official place could. Let's see what it would look like. What would it look like if we were to try? I just don't know if it would count as overlapping or not. Okay, well, we're going to try and we'll see. I can do it, I'm pretty sure. But not so sure about official. You'll have to try it. Okay. There we go. I think that's about the shape I need. Maybe. I don't know. Potentially. Probably not, actually. Alright. What I want first is bringing these out like this. Then I guess we have 4 of these. I guess this is not even what I need at all. We're gonna have way different things there to connect it all back up. Alright, so now the confusing part is to connect this all up again. Nope. So is that what I is that what I do? Is that the right piece? I don't really know. I think that might be what I need. And then if I do these... There we go. Well, it was a bit of a stretch. Because this, you should be able to do an official... I don't know if this counts as overlapping on official. I could do a full roof and it would still work. But I feel like potentially this might be a way on official. I don't know. It'll be worth trying for sure. I guess that this here in the middle is where it's gonna get interesting. Do I just continue that all the way down? No, because I do need those pieces to be here. So yeah, I do need these pieces to be here. So we just need those pieces to go straight. Then we have that wall being here, that wall being here. And I guess we would have walls over there, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what I need. So now, potentially, these are the pieces that are gonna fit in here. Yeah, there we go. So these make the quarter pieces look like little slope walls, basically. There we go. And now if I go outside and I add in the windows, I should have tiny little window additions. This is the cosmetic skin. Before there was only a mod that you had to install in your single player or on the server. This is a cosmetic version of that mod. So you can use it anywhere. There we go. I think we've figured it out. Let's transform it all to see if we have in fact done that. Oh god, no, now I ruined this piece. There we go. It looks like a normal roof from the outside here now. Oh god. That's the problem about these pieces that you can't see. You're gonna accidentally skin them, which is not what we want. There we go. So yeah, we have some nice little... Oh, we're in a tree. Some little window additions there. Potentially would have been even nicer if I did them one to the side each. I'm using cosmetics, no mods. Yeah, I kind of think that I want to move them to the right. Let's just see if I do it for one. But yeah, in theory, this all works pretty damn well. So yeah, what I want, I think, because I want a bit more space between them, basically. So I want to have one over here, and then we'll do the other one over there. There we go. So, yeah, well, we have to do it again, but I think it's going to be worth it, just because Having a little bit more space in between them is going to look a little bit more natural, I think. So it means that we'll clear out those roofs. And these here too. We can have those align around us. Oh, nope. Now I've deleted everything. That's not what I wanted. There we go. There we are. That's the start, I think. And then maybe what we do now, just to get this shape. So yeah, what you want to do is basically we're going to create a tiny little building here with those curves and then these skins. Just tiny interruptions in the roof, basically, which is exactly what we want. Then we should be able to have that corner piece there. Another one here. And then the same over on this side. There we go. That works pretty well. We can have a full roof in the middle then, which will give both of these a little bit more space to kind of live in, which I think is going to be very beneficial for both of them. So now I can have those, and I want to expand them into the front a little bit more, like that. So yeah, I want to get it in there. And the same over here. So as you can see, now that they're apart, I think that looks a lot nicer. So if we now skin these pieces, it should... Oh god. I did not mean to get rid of that one. It should look pretty nice now if we all finish skinning the roofs. Just a slightly improved version of what we had before, just because now, yeah, there's a little bit more room between them, which is definitely a lot nicer. We just need to fill in the final pieces here on the inside. So again, it's going to be a bunch more quarter walls here, which I'm pretty sure even on official you should be able to place, because technically it's not overlapping. But I don't know what the game thinks is overlapping and what I think. But yeah, these are a pretty nice addition to the roof, I think. Hello there, Mr. Chicken Man. There we go. I'm quite happy with the way that we've actually been able to add these in, because it's like one of my favorite little roof details that I normally do with CKF, and it's quite nice to be able to still make them work. I think we'll add these as a bit of extra detail here on the roof. I guess I could also have these extend. There we go. So that makes for a almost completed build, which is looking quite nice. So yeah, you definitely can get the CKF vibes very much so with these skins. There we go. We want to have all quarters, and then we want to have a full wall. Oh. We should be able to have those, and then the top layer we want to have like that again. Then I think what we want to do here is for the bottom layer, honestly, I don't think we're going to do too much, also because my landscape doesn't allow that much anyway. So that's mostly just going to be like this. But I do think that we'll have a little addition on this layer here. But maybe we'll have a smaller addition actually. Maybe just something here in the middle. And then of course we can add some supports, because those could be some nice arches as well. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, I think this is just going to help us break up this wall at the very back of the building, which is always a nice thing. I guess we just want to have some walls all around us. We want to have a window over here on the front. There we go. And then should be quite easy to finish this part. Very much. A little bit of an overhang to the side, of course. And then probably this little lip around the outside. There we go. That will help break up this wall at the back. We can still, of course, add in a few of our additional details. There we go. And then I probably would add the little window in the corner again. I think that's going to be quite nice. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Did I also go? I feel like I should probably add a beam all the way across the sides, but you know, it's easy addition later on. I guess the rest of this wall is going to be quite simple. There we go. That matches. There we go. So that should now all match. We can escape from here. And we can take a look. Definitely like the way this angle turned out. Still a decent size base for sure. There we go. Got the nice side building here too. We have this little addition at the end. Oh, why is this roof like that? We definitely want them like roofs and not like stairs. We have the little bit at the end here. I still like that little side building with the balcony. And then these little additions. Oh, I didn't build the windmill here, no. I built a windmill on the cluster on Ragnarok, but that's also gone now. So I do need to, at some point, have a windmill in my CKF town. But that's for another day. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, the cosmetic version very much works, as you can see. You can build some pretty neat things with it. So even if you're unofficial on a server without CKF mod installed, then yeah, you can still get some really cool medieval builds going. So once more, to clarify, if you already own the premium version of the CKF mod, you also have access to the keep tier in the CKF Cosmetic. The Cosmetic itself is free, totally free, but you can only use, well, you can already use the settler tier, the village tier, all of the decorations and all of the utilities. So there's a lot that you get for free. And then if you want to upgrade for both the mod or the cosmetic, you only need to buy the mod. You can't buy the cosmetic, but if you buy the mod, you will also unlock the additional skins in the cosmetic version. So it's just a way so that you don't have to buy the same thing twice, and then no matter where you play, whether you play on a server with the mod or you play on official and you use the cosmetic, you'll have access to all of the extra keep tier skins. But definitely well worth it in my opinion. But yeah, there we go. That's a pretty nice addition. So that is a slightly bigger house using the cosmetic CKF skins than the small little thing that I made here as a little test. And then my my little fort that we showed off at the start, I'll finish at some point too. But yeah, I especially like some of the new decorative pieces that have been added. That's definitely really nice for some detailing around your base. If you want to stay within the medieval vibes, there's lots of animation in this one, which is definitely really cool. And actually, I really like the storage ones. Really nice. The windmill. Well, yeah, I do have a water wheel, which is basically the same as the cosmetic one. But yeah, we do have some pretty cool ones. Let me just build up a wall here. So yeah, you have, for every tier, there is water wheels and windmills available. So if you want to add even more movement to your builds, you could add a windmill. And I think, yeah, you can change the directions and the sides where it places. So that no matter what you need, you'll be able to get that done. So you have some nice moving parts, but also if you want to go for the water wheel, that is also available. So you can get some really dynamic builds. Yeah, this is ARK. This is ARK, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, for your builds, your medieval builds, this is going to be a really nice addition. The animations, not just these, but all the utilities with animations, I think that's just going to add a lot of life and atmosphere to your builds. Yeah, that's some really, really nice decorative options. Good way to start out. I think that's all I'm going to do today. But that turned out pretty nicely, I think. Yeah, that's a nice new build. And the skins are available right now. They might not yet be on official, like they might not be approved yet, but probably won't take too long. Usually doesn't take that long, like a day or two at max. So soon enough, you should be able to build with these anywhere you want and do some cool medieval builds. So let me know if you want to see more medieval builds here on the channel in the future. And we'll see what we can do, because we sure do have plenty of builds to be getting on with. But definitely exciting news for everyone that can only use cosmetics, because you can now also use the awesome CKF ones. And for people that already had the mod, I guess nothing changes too much. Although I will say there's definitely some nice additions in these skins that even on servers with the mod, you might want to use those. But I guess some of these things will also come to the mod very soon. Yeah, overlapping restrictions on officials, definitely annoying. I try in my tutorials not to use those, or at least provide you with alternatives. But otherwise, I also offer you free unofficial servers, my community servers. So yeah, plenty of options. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this stream, unless there's any more questions. Hopefully you enjoyed this build. I had a pretty pretty damn good time here. And I think we managed to get a pretty fun build going here. It's going to be too covered in the trees to get it in frame, isn't it? Gonna have to clear out all those trees. But yeah, pretty nice build. It apparently, well, actually, maybe I need to see this for myself, but apparently there's now oh, look at this, there's thick pillars. There is, well, for the keep, just for the keep at the moment, but there is thick pillars. Yeah, there is. And you know what's even better? There's no crafting speed issues with the cosmetic version. But the mod should be getting an update soon now, because we have these. Elven build tutorials, yes, they will be coming. They will be coming. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you enjoyed the first look here at the CKF skins, as well as a pretty nice build with them, I think. As always, if you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like if you're on YouTube, subscribe if you haven't already. Many more builds coming. Leave your suggestions in the comments. Join my Discord if you want to, you know, show your builds. Show if you build one of my tutorials. Always like seeing them. Or if you want to join my free community service, if you're looking for a cool place to build with a bunch of other people that enjoy building, surviving, having fun, boss fights, everything. Custom events also coming up very soon again. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you very, very much for joining, and yeah, hope to see you in the next video or the next stream.